Look at you.
Look like I normally do.
I didn't get the blue memo.
I know it.
Blue Man Crew.
Well, when you're...
I've never seen him in a short sleeve shirt.
I have. I mean, he has them, and he wears them. That's what I don't understand.
If I'm
you
in the
may
sunshine,
have like some sort of Raynaud's disease or something.
No, I think I got some. I think I got some nerve thing going on
Raynaud's
because my
disease.
legs are cold. Like the other day, like last week, I was wearing long underwear down here, and it was like the
Okay,
middle of
that's
May.
not good. I saw
freezing.
saw a commercial for a new nerve supplement you can buy.
I just need to go and get fixed. Just tear me up and start all over again.
Yeah.
But you know, when your entire wardrobe's on a butcher block in the kitchen, you just wear what you can.
You even got blue
for men going through
okay,
separations.
but the blue socks thing. That what like? Did you do that?
No, now long socks. This is a move for me. This means I'm usually meeting a client today.
Are those compression socks?
You know what? You say that shit. You mean to be funny? But I was diagnosed with compression sock boy. Yeah, I'm like I ain't wearing stinking compression.
You have like
socks.
some thrombosis.
No, when I broke my neck and hyperextended my back and all that stuff, I was told to wear
compression socks.
Yeah, but as long as my legs keep moving underneath me, I'm good.
My girl's an MP, and she swears by compression socks.
They're pretty good, but they leave those big bands like around your ankles.
Well, do they make them in some? I can't believe we're talking about this. Jesus, I would.
Well, you wanted to talk about my socks last week, so let's talk about my socks today.
So I'm going to use this, and then we got to get off this. Do they make compression socks not in that white sort of hospital-looking?
I'm sure they do.
Do they make like fashion compression socks?
I'm not a compression sock connoisseur.
Because they make fashion depends. Have you seen Bikini Depends?
Yeah.
Bikini
They
Depends.
make Bikini Depends.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
You know, there's this commercial right now that's running for the woman who's got incontinence. And she's pretty hot.
Yeah, that's the bikini.
And they show her with her underwear on, and then she's putting her dress on over top. And I'm thinking any other time, if I ever got a chance to see a woman in her undies putting a dress on, I would totally go through the television. And for some reason, even though I know she's got incontinence, I get kind of turned on. And she shows that it's really smooth. She even does the whole rub thing. And I'm like, I cannot believe I'm watching a woman in her underwear on TV and it's an incontinence commercial. It's okay. It's like the Peroni's commercial looking at giant cucumbers. I'm like, I cannot believe we're watching this on TV these days.
Yeah. The Peroni thing. So that's the Depends one I'm talking about. She got bikini.
She's hot.
She's got bikini. She's got panties. Depends panties.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not a bathing suit. You said bikini.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You're right. It's panties.
Panties.
Not like orthopedic.
Bikini style.
Bikini style. That's what I was looking
Now,
for.
if you could do incontinence Depends in tea bags, that would be rocking.
In tea bags?
Yeah, tea bags.
Tea bags.
Tea bags. G-string.
G-string. Right.
Tea bag has got a T. G-string's just one string.
No, tea bag is a thing now.
Oh, okay.
You should
see
know
right,
that.
right. No,
You see-
I know what tea bag is.
Yeah, tea bag. I think you'd have I think you'd have leakage.
I know, but wouldn't it be great?
Now the high waist, I see the high waisted bathing suits from like the 80s, late 70s. Those are coming back.
I don't like
those are coming back.
Yeah. Those
They
look
look
dumb.
good. Can I just say this as a guy too? Baby doll dresses, anything that goes above your belly button,
What's a baby
Like an
doll?
empire waist.
it just makes women look horrible. I don't know why women wear them. I don't.
Jeans
I
and
don't
the whole,
no, it's a baby doll dress where the band's up here above their belly.
yeah.
It always makes you look like you're fat when you're not
Well, the
fat. You look
high-waisted
good. I don't
jeans.
get the baby doll dresses. I don't get it. I don't understand why it's fashionable. I'm not saying that even if you got a little pooch, you don't have to. But the baby doll, but anything that goes that high to me, I don't care about mom jeans. I mean, if you're good looking, you're good looking.
mom jeans
I look at a woman's soul inside her heart. I don't always look at the cosmetic parts. But I'm just saying, baby doll dresses do not, and don't wear flip flops if you're wearing a short skirt.
But you like summer dress. You're a big fan of summer dresses.
Well, sure.
But what if it has a high? What if that summer dress has a high waist? Does it?
I'm just telling you, guys. I'm just telling women right now. Men don't.
What's wrong with the flip-flops?
If you're going to wear a mini dress, does no good.
What do you want?
Makes your legs just look like the regular legs. Yeah.
You
Now, if you got a pullover, your moo something like that, and you're wearing flip flops, you're going out on the beach. I get it.
Yeah.
But if you're going out on town on the night,
Don't wear flip-flops.
and you're wearing a short skirt
Right.
and you got flip flops on, it's just not a good look.
You
I'm
go
just telling
wedge. Go wedge.
I don't wear shorts unless I'm either at the pool or the beach. Shorts nowhere else.
That's an interesting. I've noticed that about you. Why?
I just don't wear shorts.
Why?
I think shorts.
You're like in great shape.
Yeah. I just don't.
Don't you get hot?
No. It's not a. I mean, it's really not.
Yeah, I'm the side. I'll wear
It
shorts.
affects me.
I don't wear shorts to functions. I'll wear shorts to
wrong with
running
you?
errands or
Yeah,
Is that a Southern thing?
I don't know if it's a me thing. I just don't like guys, especially like guys in khaki shorts and like the topsiders.
No, well, that's
Such a.
dude. When I moved here, the first weekend that I went out to go do errands, I was dressed the way you sort of see me, shorts and a t-shirt. I get outside, I would go, and I said to my wife, I'm like, what's going on? Is it like a holiday? Every man, polo, some sort of polo, braided belt,
Oh yeah,
shorts, and like topsiders are like, look, it looked literally
Balance or something. Yeah,
it literally looked like throwback to when Preppy was in the early 80s.
that's down in Auburn every single day.
I don't get that.
Yeah, and
I mean,
then
it looked-
and then the straps on the sunglasses.
Now let me say this. It looked nice. It was made, it was put
Like what, for just errands?
Yes, I went out, and when I went,
Yeah,
I went to Home Depot,
Well, yeah. If you
and
see
the guy
that,
looked at me and he's like, "You're not from here, are you?"
No, but if you see that at Home Depot, you just need to tell the dude to go hire somebody. He
Yes.
ain't doing the job.
Yeah.
He ain't doing the job himself, dude.
Yeah.
The nails are in aisle number 13. Just get the hell out of here
Yeah.
because you got a braided belt on. You ain't gonna be doing
braided
that.
belt.
See, I went to Shelby County. What was it? My daughter had a recital on Saturday. She sang with the choir.
Nice.
And it was the whole Shelby County School District, and they had the jazz band. It was really nice. That's a really nice area. It's right by the Shelby County Courthouse, which I've been to numerous times recently, so I knew exactly how to get there.
Is that in Alabaster?
No, it's out past. It's just way out there.
Go out past the water tanks. You know where the water tanks are?
Yeah,
It's Columbiana.
yeah.
Did
My
you go-
mom lives in Alabaster.
She lives. Okay.
And here we are with a bunch of 8, 9, and 10-year-olds singing,
Yeah.
and there was probably 300-400 people there. And what people were wearing, I'm just like, the mothers.
Over the top, you mean?
The mothers are just like
Too much?
yeah, I mean, it was like, you had girls wearing yoga pants
Right.
with crop tops, and I'm like, okay, maybe
Oh.
she just left the gym and she had to get her daughter here, which is kind of like, okay, that was,
Yeah.
but everyone was kind of dressing for the moment, where I'm like, just dress and be comfortable.
What
I had
time
a pair
was
of
it?
shorts on. I put a golf shirt on because I was going to see my daughter, and I
Yeah.
I didn't want to
What
look like
time
a
was it?
schlump. Now,
Was-
if I go to Publix, I'm wearing a T-shirt. I don't
I've
care.
seen you in
I'm not.
Publix.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. But if I'm going to something like a recital, I'll wear a. But I mean, the guys all look like they're fixing to go play golf right afterwards.
That's because it's all they got.
Yeah.
That's what
That's
they
all-
got. I mean,
but
that's
the-
the thing of men's, right? Think about men's fashion. This is what I love about being a man.
Yeah.
You got long pants or short pants.
Yeah.
You got a short sleeve or long sleeve. You got a collar or no collar, socks or shoes.
Full button or half button.
That's
or,
it.
yeah.
What, full button or half?
Like full button.
Oh.
Or like a half button.
Yeah, that's it. Think about it.
All the women look like they were dressing for the other women there.
You know what the worst
Really?
look, and I guarantee your daughter's in college, right? I guarantee your daughter does this.
What?
Maybe away from home, but the long T-shirt with the short shorts where it doesn't look like they have pants on.
Yeah.
She does that. Ooh, gotta be careful. She does that like when she's just around the house.
No, I'm talking about out in public. Like it's
Yeah.
a look.
Oh, it's
like
a look.
on purpose look. Yeah. The long, and it's usually like a cheap big T-shirt.
Yes.
With some Umbro shorts or
Yes.
some
It's
soccer
that's enough to get a
shorts.
couple followers in a store. You're good.
Yeah,
That's the
it's-
thing. Now she wears that at home. She'll
No,
wear
no.
like one of my T-shirts, or
Right.
she gets her T-shirts extra large.
And you can't see the shorts.
No, because they're really short.
Right. That's a.
She wears
that's an
that when
actual-
I'm not watching.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Damn it!
I saw a lot of squirts too. I thought those were kind of gone.
Squirts,
It looks like a
squirts
frilly.
are cool.
Well, and here's the thing.
No, squirts are really. That's a
No,
genius.
But that's still
Squirt-
a tennis
squirt-
thing, right?
No, squirts are for it's athleisure, so you can wear squirts all the
Squirts
time.
are a lie. They're a lie. I mean, we know
Yeah.
we know what's
Yeah.
going on there, and then it's like
Did
there's
you
no
see him?
because I saw a couple of women probably in their 40s. I'm like, there's no way that's really a skirt because
No.
they would not do that. But the thing is, see, we were in an area where there was no chairs, so if you were kind of creepy, if you were a creepy
Wait,
kind of
wait,
guy,
you're sitting down on the floor.
you were sitting on the street. It was in the streets of Columbiana. So people were sitting on the pavement, and so there were women sitting on curbs,
Yeah,
and so it was like, yeah.
but
Do you remember
dude-
gaucho pants?
Yes,
Those
Gauchos.
are coming back.
Gauchos and not Pilatos.
I'm just happy to see that all the loose
Pilatos,
stuff
yeah.
is coming back
What?
because the slim pants are out.
See, I just can't do the wide leg. I'm not.
No.
I could do the wide leg, but I'm not going back.
No, the wide legs.
I'm not
dumb.
going back.
Like
Well, if you
should-
wear 15s, the wide leg's pretty nice because it makes your ass
Wider.
look, yeah.
wider.
Like if I
not-
wear
not
skinny
bell-
pants,
but
I'll
you
look like a
can't-
damn clown.
You can't do not like bell bottoms.
Yeah, I just want to be comfortable.
Boot cut.
Boot
You
cut,
do
yeah,
boot cut?
These are boot cut.
Well, see, the thing is, your
But I don't
feet are
wear
so
boots.
big
I know.
that your boot cut doesn't look like boot cut.
I know, right?
Like these are regular cut.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did you
but-
ever wear flared?
Yeah, I wear flare. Yeah.
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 There was a point in my life, I'm going to be very transparent, when in my early 20s, I didn't like the way that the men's jeans rode up so high above my hips. So I would buy girls' jeans.
You want to tell us more about that?
Yeah.
Should we-
Dude, if
I
they
looked
fit, that's
really
fine.
good in them. Sorry.
The woman's cut's not so bad.
I wouldn't even think. Well, nowadays you can't even
See, but you're
Can't tell.
but you're in
He-
great
you know what he
shape.
is? He is the Banana Republic, J. Crew,
American Eagle,
American. Like you're the one.
and I'm Coles.
No, no.
I'm Coles and
Stop it.
Old Navy.
No. It's not about price. It's about size. He's the one where you go past the store, right? And you look at the mannequin or whatever, the male, you're like, that looks pretty cool.
Yeah, and then you
Right?
try it on, you look
And you
like
look
hell.
like a
But see,
dumbass.
that's what I'm saying. He could pull it off.
Well, it's not just he can pull it off.
You can pull it off.
No, I can't.
No, you can't.
Because I'm no. Because
How
I got
tall are you?
just under 6 feet. So, but I have
Oh,
a
so you're
big
taller than
ass.
that.
I have a big ass,
Uh-huh.
big
You
thighs.
do not have a big ass.
No, my ass is huge.
You got a bubble ass? Let me see.
No,
Let me see.
no, you have a.
It's
No,
huge.
you
it's
got a little
not.
back on you.
You have a nice. You have a nice ass, but it's not a big ass.
No, but that then pulls.
The fact you still have an ass in your 50s
No,
is
it
pretty
pulls.
impressive.
It pulls. You have a gap here.
And put a belt on.
Is that genetic or is that work?
Was your dad's ass like that too?
My entire family has
Did you have
flat
you looked at
asses.
have you looked at your dad's ass?
Well, he's dead.
Well, I know, but did you look at
Yes,
pictures of him when
my
he's
dad.
alive?
No, everyone in my family
Flat.
flat.
So that's squatting.
No, I was.
Mom's side?
No, I was born.
Did your
this
mom
way.
have a nice ass?
No, no.
So recessive gene.
It's a recessive gene. Now, here's what's really interesting. So I was born this way, and it screwed me up as a kid because I couldn't wear pants because they're too big, and you have to
Yeah,
take
the
them in
gap.
all that stuff. So then when my kids were born, my wife's got a nice ass, but not like this. Both kids are born. Both kids come out C-section. Both kids are laying on the flat on their stomach, and their butts are like this. Both my kids have bubble butts.
Do you have calves?
Yeah, but they're smaller. But both my kids and my wife have massive calves.
So your calves went to your ass.
Yes.
You have calf ass.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
I
calf
bet at
ass.
some point, could you ever dunk a basketball?
Yes.
See, it's all in the ass.
Yeah.
Or the calves.
No,
you need
it's in
legs
the
to
ass.
dunk on a basketball.
No, my glutes could crush a walnut.
We'll see what your ass looks like about 5 or 6 years. So you work out.
I'm
pretty
52. They're going to look great. It's going to look
Yeah,
great.
I'm gonna have to get an ass lift. I got my dad's ass. It's just
Is it sagging?
no, but I used to always, when I was younger, girls used to always say I had a cute behind. They
Yes.
used to always say you have a cute
See,
behind.
they wouldn't say that about me because my
I haven't
ass was
gotten that in a
big
while.
and I had no upper body.
Yeah.
And I played soccer, so I was just big, clunky. It's terrible. Where?
So I went to a funeral on Friday, by the way.
I know
I wanted to-
you've
I
had a
wanted to
rough
talk about this.
weekend.
You know, it was a rough
or-
weekend, but it feels good to do the right thing. But it was a full weekend. I had the recital, and then I had a friend of mine died, and then went to the funeral on Friday. Ran into some of my coworkers that I used to work with in the
you
radio
were telling
business.
me
I
they
was
were-
surprised how few actually showed up, which was kind of surprising.
Yeah.
And then I went and had dinner with a friend of mine yesterday who's on the way out. And I was like, and we used to run pretty hard. Not one of these guys I was really surprised, but at the age of, he turned 68 on Thursday, I was kind of like,
Cancer?
but I always feel good about
Cancer.
going to funerals. I could see where, there's some people that go to funerals even when they don't know anybody. You seen that? It's a whole group of people. I think there's a Facebook group of people that go to funerals.
They crash funerals?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
to support the person or because they like it?
I think a little bit of both. I think just to feel their own mortality and to realize that life is precious and to hear other people's stories. I think it's interesting when you kind of go and hear about someone's
Yes.
life that you knew nothing about, because normally at a funeral you're going to get some biblical scripture and he was a great man. They're going to read a couple things, Psalms 23, blah, 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 blah. And you're like, okay. In this particular case, they kind of explain, who he was, how he got started,
Yeah.
what he really liked and what he was into and stuff. And so it was heart-wrenching, but heartwarming. And it does. It's like, the one thing everyone, you never know when you're going to go. And I'm like, I know, right? At the age of 62.
Funeral.
I hate everything about the Southern traditional. Like, it takes everything within me to stop as a processional is going down. Like, I don't see it how it's disrespectful just to keep driving. I don't understand it. Who's it disrespectful to?
You don't have to, but it is ultra respectable.
Wait, you don't stop when a processional's going?
You get in the middle of the procession? You take them through a drive-through or something? Hey, we're going to McDonald's. Turn the
Not
lights
a
on, see if they'll
cha-cha
follow you
line
through.
or
No, I'm
whatever.
saying like if they're going the opposite way, you know how people on the
Yeah.
opposite side. I don't understand
Oh,
how it's
Are you
disrespectful.
supposed to stop?
It's not illegal. It's not illegal.
But
No,
I-
but it's
Are you
very
really
respectful, yeah.
It's
I think there's
it's
nothing-
a Southern thing. It's not a.
Okay, well, I'm a Yankee.
You do it for a police officer, though, wouldn't you?
Well, because it got the sirens
Because,
on.
well, no, not, well,
Oh, it's a
sometimes.
police funeral. Yeah. Well, then you
Then
just
you
stop.
see people get out of your car. Well,
Yeah.
I
Sure.
mean, a life's a life, but
Yes.
I think it's super cool when people are willing to do
Yes,
that.
I think yes.
Because
Yeah,
if the
I
car in
just
front of
don't-
me does it, and then I get behind,
Yeah.
and then because if I pull off the side of the road and the guy goes around me, I go, asshole.
Yeah.
Someone just died here. You don't know what the situation. You don't know if there's a child in there. You don't know what just happened there. Can you wait to
You're so
go to your ball
judgmental.
your ball game? Can you
Right.
just chill out for just? I mean, it's
Yeah,
only going to take
yeah.
2 or 3 minutes. So do it. But I mean, what's
No,
the
I
big?
think it's cool. I definitely think paying respect that way is there's something about it because it's a moment. It's just a moment in time. You're pulling over the side. You don't know the person, right? I think you're paying respect to somebody who's passed. The thing I can't do is I can't do open caskets.
Really?
I will not. In fact, I will
Yeah.
not walk past an open casket.
Really?
Cannot do it.
Why?
Jeez, I'm getting personal.
Scary or freaks you out? Or?
Yeah. So when do we talk about this? Should you make your kids go to funerals or not?
Yeah.
There's a whole thing about should you make your kids go to funerals. So when I was a little kid, my grandmother passed.
Mm-hmm.
I had a very close relationship with her, and I mean, I was probably 10, maybe. I didn't want to go to the funeral. My parents didn't make me, but it kind of was like everybody was going, so I didn't really have a choice. And it was a funeral home. They sat you behind like closed sheer curtains. That I was already starting to get freaked
Yes.
out because the
Super
funeral
weird.
home was. It reminded me of like and then I mean I guess I didn't know what was going to happen. And then everybody went to go visit my grandmother, and she had died of cancer, so there was no deformity. I mean, even to this, I'm thinking right now, freaked me out. Had nightmares for weeks because she was dead, and I didn't know what dead was even at 10. And then when they embalm, I mean, it just nothing is real.
Yeah.
And since that time, I can think of 2 funerals where I had to. These were not people close to me. I had to walk by because I just didn't have and I literally like diverted my eyes so that I wouldn't look at it. Because I don't want to, the whole embalming thing and the whole open casket thing, it just doesn't make sense to me because they're gone and they don't look like, and I'm nothing against embalmers.
Yeah. I had a good friend of mine who was an embalmer in Kentucky, so I kind of knew how it worked out. But the thing is a lot of people don't see that person, and they do want to see them one final time before they go in the ground.
No, I get that. It's just, I don't want to,
Yeah, I agree. I just don't. I
want
like
to
it.
see him in here.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of cool too, because when you've had someone in a car wreck or something like that,
Yeah.
or burning, obviously you're going to have a closed casket or a cremation. But to know that they can be seen makes me feel a bit better about them going.
See,
I'm like, see, they still look pretty good because everyone's like, you look so peaceful.
It turns my stomach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like when you're dead, you should be.
Yeah.
What about people that touch the dead body? Because a lot of people touch the hands.
Oh yeah, and they'll
hold
get down
hands.
and like kiss them and
See,
stuff.
look,
That's
you're
just
making me
too
nauseous.
much.
Or steal their jewelry.
Yeah.
At the funeral?
See, I gotta find one of those long distance archers because I want a Viking funeral.
What did you just say?
Archer, Viking, something or other. I'm not
So
sure.
you know how like in Viking they'll sit them out on a bed of wood and send them out into the ocean or whatever,
Yes.
and then once they get out there, they'll take an archer with a fiery arrow, and then shoot, and then
Dude, you're a little dramatic.
dude, that'd be awesome to have.
That's a
like
little-
a great way to go.
I watched The Big Lebowski this week, and I'll probably go that way. Just throw the ashes up, let them get back in your face. You're like, what the
Was
hell?
this an open casket where you went? I'm becoming obsessed
He was
about it.
He was already this. It was a graveside only. So because of COVID and everything, I think
right.
they
Have they changed that? Is it COVID?
yeah. Well, some people only do gravesite. You know,
No, because of COVID.
yeah. I mean, you couldn't go to a funeral.
No, now, because now we're kind of.
Yeah, but I'm saying, yeah. I mean, you could have gone to visitation, then we drove the cars through, and went to
Okay, you're creeping.
the grass was really
I
nice.
still want to know why you got blue socks on.
There's besides, I think by the time this whole world's over with, it's just going to be full with grave sites and golf courses.
I mean, I don't mean like an ancient Jewish tradition, but more like a modern Jewish tradition. My grandfather bought plots for everybody and gave them out as gifts.
Oh yeah,
It was the creepiest.
That was something that moms and dads did in our time, and it wigged us out.
Yeah.
But you could get buy one get one free. It was a BOGO on a gravesite,
Exactly.
and so you wanted to make sure you got two side by side. You could be married, which is funny because now you don't do that because you don't know if your ass is going to be married your entire life. So you're like, a mom and dad in their 20s would buy a gravesite from a friend of theirs. Hey, what are you doing? I'm an embalmer. I work at a funeral home. Great. Give me two and put me and Jane next to each other, blah, blah, blah. And so that plot of land is always there. They kind of fit him in there a little bit like a puzzle. And so I knew my dad was going to be married or married, but also.
Can you sell them now?
I think you can sublet them. I think you can dig up a body and sublet the land.
Like a timeshare.
That's exactly.
Yeah.
I bet you can make a ton of money.
If you buy a bunch of plots and then sell them.
Well, because like where I grew up in L.A., I mean, land there is no. My grandfather bought plots, and both sides of the family. Not only did God, this is sick. Not only did they buy the plots, but they shopped around for them for ideal views. So like both sides of my family are my parents. They're buried in the San Fernando Valley in L.A. Both of them have a view. They have a view plots of the entire thing, and that's a thing.
Well, you don't know, first of all, I mean, everyone talks about investing in your life, and you might as well invest in your death. Because, we don't even pay our credit cards. So, I mean, who's going to put $6,000 down now to ensure that their family's not going to pay for the funeral stuff? It was really weird, though, because right next to where Mark Cawthon, or my friend, was buried, there was a guy named Bone. It just said Bone. I walked in, it's like Bone. And, of course, everyone was nudging me, look, it's Bone. I'm like, dude, there's a guy just passed away. Oh, that's pretty funny, though. I almost took a picture of it and was going to put it on social media, but I didn't want to look disrespectful. I never met a guy named Bone.
You?
Well, I know, but I mean.
And just said Bone?
It just said Bone with the ear. It didn't have anything written underneath. It was like Bone.
See, I get really creeped out about that.
If I said Bones, I would have thought, okay, there's bones.
Went to church yesterday.
Yeah.
With my wife. And we were, what's it called when you stand?
Church or temple?
No, this is church. Episcopalian.
Oh.
I go with my wife. My wife and his daughter are Episcopalian.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and we have the coolest priest. He's got a complete tatted arm sleeve with koi and all this stuff. But what's it called? I was standing next. It's not a mausoleum, but it's where they have. It's at the church where all the cremated. It's not at a cemetery. It's at the church, and all the cremated people are in
like
the walls.
Crypt?
No, it's like not a crematorium.
You wouldn't like the way they do it down in New Orleans, then. Where they
I've been on top.
The bodies above.
We have people
and
going
floating during floods. Yeah.
Those are called crypts, right?
This wasn't a crypt. This is just like a wall. It's like it's like when
I know what you're talking about.
But it's at the church instead of at the funeral.
Yeah.
Instead of at the cemetery.
Yeah.
So they keep the cremated people at the church. Mm-hmm. So we went up there because now you can, and they were doing communion. I'll tell you a story about Jews and communion in a second. But they were doing the communion, and this is great.
Wonderful.
This is great. So we were standing up against this thing where all the dead people were.
Yep.
And but I wasn't leaning against it, just out of respect. And I stepped back, and I my head went into like a dead person.
Okay.
It freaked me out. I think I got death issues.
Yeah, I think you do.
It really freaked. I mean, I was like, oh. Now here's the communion thing. You go communion. Mm-hmm. You all go communion. I obviously do not take communion, although apparently an Episcopalian, I am welcome to take communion.
You are, because it's not actually the body of Christ.
You're right.
The only religion where the bread and the wine actually are the body and blood of Christ is the Catholic religion. Everything else is a symbol.
Really?
Yes.
But they call it. But
it's symbolic, but in the Catholic religion, after it's blessed, it actually is the body of Christ.
Okay, so here's the thing. By
the way, I love it when the priest gives me a piece of his. Like you get the round, everyone gets the round wafer, but sometimes when you know the guy, he'll break off a piece of the one that he actually ate from.
See, now that's another thing that creeps me out. Because as a Jew, the whole so the body of Christ, the body and blood of Christ, and apparently now it's symbolic in the Episcopalian Church, because Josiah always says, you're welcome to any time. He's like, it's bread and wine, which my people, challah and wine, we love some good bread and wine. So it's basically, it's more like matzah and wine.
I was about to say matzah.
It's matzah and
wine.
You
ever dip the bread in the wine?
Do I dip bread in the wine?
Yeah,
yes. Do I dip the communion wafer?
Yeah.
No, because I don't touch that.
Sometimes you can do that too, yeah.
No, I don't touch that. So what you're supposed to do, when I first started going to church with my wife, I said, I'm not going to go up. Y'all go up. She said, you can come up, but you don't have to take them. I'm like, well, how are they going to know? How are they going to know that there's a Jew here?
Cross your hands.
Yes. Cross your hands.
That's what you do when you get your first communion.
Like this.
It's also what you do when you're in the casket.
Yes. So yesterday, yes.
They think you're walking dead.
That's exactly. So yesterday,
this guy alive or
There's no hope for
go
this
up
guy.
there.
did you look pasty white or anything?
No, so yesterday go up there for whatever reason. I didn't think he was paying attention because they walk around the priest. It's the body of blood, the body. What is it? It's the body of Christ. Blood of the Christ. They do this thing. And they go to every single person. But he's not paying, he's kind of going around, and I'm worried that he's not paying attention, and he's going to put something in my hand or my mouth.
Just keep your mouth closed.
No, so I went like this.
Yeah.
And so Jules,
you didn't do it that way.
Well, Jules like, what are you afraid they're going to throw?
Forever.
Well, that's it. Jules like, what are you afraid they're going to throw the holy? They're going to throw the wine. And she's like, you look like you're getting a shot out of a cannon.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, dude, I gotta.
No, that's respectful.
Is
You're
it?
you're showing reverence to their tradition, regardless of whether you're Episcopalian or not, and you're saying and you want to be involved in the ceremony.
So it was okay.
That's okay. Yeah. It's like showing for.
It makes me really nervous.
Yeah, my mom was a distributor at St. John's up in Westchester, Ohio. She actually would distribute the wine and the bread. For the longest time, it was just the priest. He was the only one that could touch anything. And if the host hit the ground, oh my gosh, it was terrible. We used
Julie
to have
dropped it once. What did you do?
Nothing. It's changed now. We used to have the plate where the altar boy would put the plate, and man, if you dropped it, dude, it was like you kicked out. You couldn't be an altar boy anymore if you dropped on this thing. You were like down there like juggling, right? But my mom, and then they opened it up because there was just so many people and they wanted to get through it. And it took like an hour to go through everybody. So when you poured the wine, you look at the crowd to see, okay, I think we have some drinkers here. And you'd pour the wine. Well, whatever was left has to be either put down the hole. There's a hole that's back behind the tabernacle, back in the area where the priest gets ready. And it goes, because holy water and holy wine must be poured into the ground. There's a whole thing.
It's a holy hole?
Holy hole, or it's got to be drank. And so my mom, who liked her wine, 8:30 mass every Sunday morning. I didn't miss a mass.
Stereotypical.
I could have the flu, and I was going to mass, and if we got there late and the priest was looking at me, I'd have to be up there on the altar. She would pour just a little more than we thought we need. And then, hell, at the age of 13, I always drive my mom home from church on Sunday
What's holy
mornings.
water?
It's just blessed by the priest.
But where's the water come from? The tap?
It can come from a tap. It can come from anywhere.
It's just blessed.
Yeah.
So it's like kosher.
Yeah,
You can
same
bless
thing.
it.
It's like kosher.
Yeah, as long as you bless it, it's good. But once it's blessed, you can't just pour it down the drain. It's got to be.
What if it spills?
Used. Well, I mean, accidents happen.
What?
Accidents happen.
You can't touch it. It would burn your skin.
Yes, that's why I go like this.
Yeah.
Can I touch holy water?
Well, sure you can.
Can you touch holy water?
So the wine that you guys drink is actual wine. Every communion I've ever had was
It's
just
not wine?
It was just grape juice because it's just a symbolism.
Jews, it's wine.
Ours is actually wine too,
Yeah.
and that's one of the few places where, your first communion is usually about first or second grade, and I tell my kids you don't have to drink the wine if you don't want to. As part of the ceremony, they give you the thing, and you can say no, it's not.
So, okay, so let's just a question. Let's say it's only this. It's only this much wine, a tiny bit of wine. But let's say you're a recovering alcoholic, because that's where they have AA. There, is it typical that you just pass on the wine, or do you see a lot of people who are recovering?
Well, you like to think that if you're drinking the blood of Christ, you could still be an alcoholic and drink a little wine because you're only taking a sip. Now, there's some drinkers. I mean, there's some people up there you can see the gulping, but then they wipe the chalice with the thing, and it's like, in a pandemic, it'd be like, let's just spread
as long as we're going there, here's another thing as an observation as a Jew.
If the priest is up there hacking, I'm probably not going to drink from the chalice.
So this is even pre-COVID. As Jews, we break bread. And they'll break the bread and they pass it around kind of like in a plate.
Passover.
Yeah, no. Even on Friday night services, the prayer over. It's like the prayer over bread and wine. And they pass it around, and they don't pass around a chalice. They have little cups of wine that they pass to everybody. So first time I went with Jules to communion, handing out the wafer, and they hand out the wafer, and then everybody's taking a sip of the wine in the same cup.
Oh yeah.
First thing, I'm like, okay, you're never gonna see a Jew doing that.
Yeah.
No way. We're germaphobe. We're not touching. There ain't no way. And they did the same thing. They wipe it with, I don't know if it's holy holy cloth.
Yeah.
But like, there is no way you would see a Jewish family passing a cup of wine and sipping from the same thing. I mean, no way. Without hand sanitizer, wipes.
You Jewish people are a little strange.
Well, dude, how do you think we've made it this long?
don't like
we
dead
gotta
bodies.
watch
You don't
stuff.
drink wine.
Shellfish,
You-
pork,
But
and
you
no
but you
sharing of
pass
wine.
around a water bong when you were 17 between 17 of your buddies and get high as a kite, but you wouldn't pass
No,
around
I'm
a
talking
wine
about
glass.
tradition.
Yeah. Well, that's
Tradition.
Tradition.
Trying to think
You-
if I
Here.
did I ever. Do
Oh,
it?
no wine for me.
No,
I'm
but
not
you know
drinking
what?
out of that
You know
nasty
why?
thing, dude.
It was we were all Jews.
Yeah,
It was all Jews. It was okay. Like when we passed it around.
I got you. Also, this weekend, I thought it was interesting. The Preakness ran.
Yeah, I didn't under.
There were two instances this weekend where I was rooting against things, but I felt bad about rooting against them. I went and saw my daughter went to this horse competition, and her friend was on this horse.
You rooting
And-
against her?
There was another child in the competition that I really wanted to win, and so I was kind of like, and I felt bad I was rooting against this child to screw up because she's like 8,
So that
and I was kind of like,
that's a thing.
yeah, and I felt bad about it because it wasn't going to be her fault. And then I found myself, and I tweeted this out, I was rooting against Medina Spirit at the Preakness, which came in third, by the way, because I knew that if the horse won, I thought, okay, this is going to be good because we're going to find out that this methabetic cortisone or whatever it was not the reason why the horse won the Derby. We still don't know if it's going to keep that Derby. And at the same time, I was like, that horse has been through all this training and everything else, and it deserves to win this race.
Right.
But then I didn't want Bob Baffert to win that race, and it was almost like rooting against someone else's. It's like rooting against someone else's child because you don't like the parent. Is what it
Yes.
was. And I got some parents,
So
and I'm
listen,
like, I hope that kid breaks a leg in soccer practice
That
today.
is a thing.
Yeah.
That is a major thing. Even
And I
if they're
feel
on-
bad because it ain't the kid's fault. I used to do it all the time in Little League sports.
Even if they're on your team,
Yes.
that's
I hope the kid takes a header.
well. I don't do that.
I did, man. I was like, oh, Joey went down. Yeah, because I hated his dad.
No, but
Yeah.
that's okay. That's really bad. But I've had it where on the same team when my daughter was playing, and there were parents that I just didn't like, and these were some of the best players on the team, and I found myself going,
Even if it meant the team losing.
that's exactly. I'm
Yeah.
like, God, I hope she misses. I hope she misses. We're down by 2. I hope she misses. I hope she misses and gets, and her parents. I hope she misses. Here's my thought. Hope she misses. And it was not, I hope she misses and her parents yell at her because it wasn't against the kid. Hope she misses and I hope those son of bitches are humiliated.
Yeah,
Humiliated.
I know. I was the
I
same way.
felt so good about that.
I have a deep hate for those leagues that there's no winners or losers. Like I think it's called Upward League.
My
or
kids
whatever.
played upward. No scores.
Yeah,
But you know
it's
what?
The dumbest thing.
Yeah,
ever.
Only till a time.
No,
Only till a
dumb.
particular
Here's
time.
the thing. Here's the thing in that. The kids are not keeping score because there's no score, right? Okay, so for kids, I get that. Every damn parent's keeping score.
Of course.
Myself, we're
Well, sure.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, that's the natural human thing to do.
right. No, I understand at a young enough age to just play the game. Just play. Like when they're 5 and 6 and 7 and 8, you don't need. I mean, it's great that it could go either way. It doesn't matter to me, but I find it fascinating because there's no score, and at the end of the game, the kids are done, and every parent
There will come a time when the score is important.
That's right.
And so I'm not about participation trophies. I do think that's a crock. But I mean, if it means every kid getting 2 at bats so they get a chance to play
Yes.
and they're 6 years old, we got to teach our kids now.
okay,
There's
well,
winners and losers. That's bullshit.
it
It's like,
is
whatever,
complete
dude. That's for the parents. Let the kids have a
even
good
the
time. All they care about is the flipping snack and the hot dog
That's
afterwards.
exactly. Well, and even the participation trophies, and I am so adamant about this. When your kids like 8, 7, 8, 7 and down, there is nothing wrong at the end of the season with giving the kid something that says this is for you for participating.
Yeah.
It does not. These parents are like it screws the kid up and they don't understand about competition. It's the stupidest thing. That is your issue.
Yeah.
That is your issue. And you know what?
There's travel ball for 5-year-olds. Go knock yourself out. If your kid is that good, then go in a different
Your kid
league
is
and
not
go
that
play.
good at 5.
I know.
There is no kid at 5. You know what that is? That's called profit.
Yeah.
That's called you're a sucker.
Yeah.
And you believe your kid is going to be the best. You capped out at high school, and so you're going to pay. and you want your kid to be as tough as possible, so you don't want participation trophies. That's the thing. There's nothing. Participation trophies don't somehow, they don't make soft kids.
And let me tell you this. In most cases, I think I've got 3 trophies in my entire life. I got one for a hole-in-one. I got one for a race I was in. I came in second. I got one at the Regions Charity Classic. I came in second when I was playing with Jim Thorpe. And I value those because I never got trophies. I didn't have trophies all over my room like a lot of kids do. And that's fine. That's great. But in a lot of cases, the only trophy a kid ever gets.
Yes.
It may be a plastic piece of crap that says, most improved or whatever, but they still value that. And trophies are things that you never throw away. Yeah. No one throws it. It could be a trophy when you were 2. You never throw away trophies. No one ever throws away trophies. I don't need that anymore. You always keep the trophies.
Somewhere in my mom's house, I have all my bowling. So why are parents so freaked out?
Because we got to teach our children the values of life, and there's winners and losers, and not everyone can be winners, and we need to learn on our losing and blah, 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 blah. And again, if you're talking 5, 6, 7-year-olds, you got people up there pulling your pants up, taking a leak by second base. I don't think he really cares about winning the baseball game. They just want to play.
By the time they get to be like 10,
it's not whether you win or lose.
Shut up.
Seriously,
I know.
It's how you play the game.
But by the time you're 10, you already understand that anyway. Like you don't need your parents or the coaches.
And kids know that winning is a lot funner than losing.
That's right.
It's funny. I completely disagree with both of you.
Yeah. How many kids do you have?
Cool. That's all right though.
How many kids do you have?
I don't have any kids.
Okay, thank you very much. Then shut the hell up because you know what you're talking about.
But I think what you're saying is anecdotal. I don't think there's complete evidence of what you're saying is correct.
What, that we create entitled soft kids because they get participation trophies?
Right. Yes. No. I know a lot of soft entitled 3rd and 4th graders.
Well, those aren't the ones that are going to be playing at the next level, though. They're not going to be playing when they're 14 or 15.
Well, and here's the thing. So this is my point. If giving your child participation trophies in sports or sports or recitals or whatever, if that is what's going to make your child entitled and soft,
you're not saying because
you're a really bad parent.
Listen, I've worked.
You are
with,
not you. You're a really
but you
bad.
will be.
I've worked with several kids that in the more artistic. Not sports, but artistic.
Yeah,
I've had to tell them they've had this attitude where they've been thinking they've been on the top tier. I've had to tell them, you're not as good as you think.
How old are they?
Middle school.
Okay, well, that's a little older.
But see, and that's different. That's okay. That's okay, too. Like, that's the thing I don't understand. It's like, let's make an experience for a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9-year-old less than awesome because it's going to make them soft by the time they're 11, 12. That's the whole thing. By the time the wake-up call is going to happen.
See, did you let your kids beat you at sports and video games and stuff when they were little? Did you allow them to beat you?
Yeah, of course.
See, my dad never did.
Well,
and the day that I beat him one-on-one in basketball for real, it was one of the greatest days of my life.
Yeah, but here's the difference.
Because it was real.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
Was he trash talking you though?
Of course.
See, there you go. Because I mean, if I get a kid who's telling me there's nothing better than beating my kid in Madden, because he plays Madden all the time, and I will beat his ass. I will do everything, and I don't know what I'm doing.
Well, that's
and I will stick in his face because sometimes kids need to be brought down a little bit.
Yeah.
But when we're playing something where I'm 6'4" and he's 4'3", do I allow him to make a hoop once in a while? Yeah, absolutely. Do I try to teach him what it feels like? I want to see how he reacts to losing. Mm-hmm. Then usually, I want to play again. Okay, we'll play again. And then occasionally, we do it with cards all the time. I do it with my 9-year-old. Do I let my cards once in a while? But I beat her too to see how it feels both ways. So
the greatest developmental, for me,
I think it's important you don't let them win all the time.
Well, no. So what you do is you let them win.
But that's what Upward is they're winning all the time.
Well, yes, there's nothing wrong. They're not.
What do you think casinos are? They let you win. Why?
Well, sure.
Because you think you're a badass, and then they take your entire wallet. That's what dads do. You let them win a little bit, and you teach them humility by saying, you're not as good as you think you are. You need to work on this more. And then they come back a couple weeks later and say, Dad, I'm really good.
One of the greatest things for a kid, so like you said, the first time you beat your dad was at whatever sport or whatever it was the greatest moment in your life. So for my kids, they got this to be this age where they realized I was playing soft, right? They were like, come on, Dad, come on. I want you to just play the way you're going to play, right? And so I did. I flipped over. I played. And this was particularly, I had this with both my son with tennis, my daughter with basketball. And I played as hard as I could, and she beat me. Greatest moment in her life.
Yeah.
Because she knew the difference between the two.
Yeah, when they truly beat you, then it's a really great moment for them. You're happy for them. Get back this Medina Spirit thing this for a second, because I'm starting to, and I'm a horse guy, and Bob Baffert was it for me. He was the Tom Brady of racing. He won, and now the more I read into what's going on,
I still don't understand.
I don't like
cheating.
I don't like cheating in sports. I don't like cheating in sports. I don't like cheating in cards. I think if you have to cheat to win, I think that you should be admonished. I think you should be just abolished from whatever sport you're in. And so I'm at the point now where Bob Baffert, to me, his legacy will always be a cheater. And I hate that I feel that way because I don't think he cheated in his 6 previous. Now, he's had 5 different instances in the last 13 months where his horses were drugged.
Yeah.
And he's the trainer, so I'm not going to hear this crap.
So what do you think his story is? Like, I don't. Do you literally think he's cheating, and we've just misread him? Like we you know what I mean?
I think he's either pushed it, and I'm all about pushing the envelope as far as you possibly can in order to get the. But I mean, again, you know, we talk about college football teams with 24 secondary violations. We know it happens, but we know there's a situation where we don't do this. You can do this, but you don't do this.
Right.
Okay, you can steal signs from second base, but you don't do this. You don't cork your bat, right?
Baseball's stupid.
But I mean, the more I read into it, and of course, after listening to everyone talk about it on Saturday, I was happy that his horse didn't win. I was wanting the horse to win, but I didn't want Bob Baffert to win. But now I'm starting to think to myself, and I'm trying to think, not necessarily cheat, but not do things right. And all I can equate it to is if we found out Nick Saban was doing something horrible. I can't even think of what that would possibly.
What? Like,
maybe he's been paying players for years. I don't know. Well, I think about Joe Paterno.
Well,
he wasn't paying players.
Okay, that's a whole.
But I know, but he was doing something that was really horribly wrong. And again, did it help him win football games? No, but what's Joe Pa's legacy?
Did he turned he turned the other way while kids were being abused.
Unless you're a Penn State grad, you think that Joe Pa's a piece of crap. And that's sad to me because he gave that university 50 years of his life. Bob Baffert, to me, is kind of like the fact that it'd be like Nick Saban being told you're not welcome at Bryant-Denny. He's not welcome at Churchill Downs.
Here's the part I'm lost on this. The horse tests positive, right? And and Bob Baffert, he's licking the hay from the pee, and he's licking the wall, and all.
Now it's from an ointment. They said it was an ointment that they used on the horse that got into his bloodstream. It says clearly on the ointment, methylbetazone or whatever it is.
Okay, so the horse tested positive.
Yes.
Why was it allowed to run in the Preakness?
It tested positive after the Derby, and so they had to go through a multitude of all these different tests that most horses don't have to go through to make sure it was totally clean before it ran at the Preakness, and so it was allowed to go. Bob Baffert was allowed to be there, but he didn't show up because he didn't want to be distraction.
But did he win? So did they take away his Derby win?
Not yet. They're waiting for the B sample.
That's what I'm asking you. So it tested.
And the B sample is going to be positive too.
Okay, and so they will take away the Derby win.
They will.
Okay, and so Bob Baffert coming into the Preakness.
This is Deflategate. It's the Houston Astros.
Yes.
It's one of the situations where in most cases they go, listen, they would have won anyway, so we're going to allow them to keep it. Or, okay, if we take this away, who are we giving it to? In a horse race,
what are you going to
Mandaloun would win the Kentucky Derby. But I even think as Mandaloun, I'm like, I don't know if I want that.
Do you think the vast majority even care? Like, let's take baseball and steroids or football and steroids. Do you think the vast majority of fans really care when it comes down to it?
As long as they know that everyone was on equal. Pete Rose used to talk about this all the time. Back in the clubhouse, there was a green pot and a red pot of coffee. One had like methamphetamines in it and cocaine and weed and LSD and mushrooms. It was like a pot. It had crap floating around the top.
It's Gorilla Punch.
And you drink that if you were like tired. And the other one was just for players that just wanted to drink and just get mouth cancer by chewing, right? And so it's been going around. I think it was Mike Schmidt we had on our show. He talked about there was the green pot and the red pot. Right. Everyone knew about it. So it's been going around for years, right? But when you're talking about cheating, I don't think fans really care that much as long as they knew that everyone had the opportunity to cheat to get those numbers. The problem is you had some of the most hallowed records in Major League Baseball go down because of the cheating Barry Bonds, Jose Canseco. And so when you see like guys like Hank Aaron, Willie May, those guys, they weren't juicing because I don't think it was even around at the time, then that makes it. Well, we go back to the Olympics. Remember when all the German girls were bigger than the German dudes?
Yeah, well, they took half of them out.
And they were beating everybody?
So how big are steroids, you think, in college football? College football.
You think it's... I don't know at this point because they do testing.
Right.
You said do-do.
Do-do. I mean, you can certainly. I had a friend of mine who roided up, that was like half your size.
Yeah.
Within a summer.
Oh, you can.
He was like twice the size of Brandon. I was like, dude, and he looked good. I mean, I was like,
you know, the worst story of that I've ever had. I had a friend who started juicing when we were weightlifting, and he never got bigger. Got stronger. He was a skinny guy.
Never got bigger.
And I remember him saying, he's like, I'm pumping all this crap in my body. He's like, I can do 5,000 pull-ups now.
Yeah.
But I'm still about the same size. Still the same size. Never got bigger. I mean, he got a little more muscular. He got a little more venous.
The problem with steroids is unless you keep doing it,
right?
You're just going to short. Like 2 years later, this guy was as skinny as he was. I was like, what happened? He's like, I stopped working out.
Yeah.
And he had pimples all over his face and his back, and he was really agitated, very irritable.
And steroids, really, unless you abuse them like anything else, they're not bad for you.
No.
They're not.
No, right. I mean, yeah, they use it all the time. Yeah. I mean, you can keep your hormones level. You can get testosterone levels on the higher side of normal. Right?
So we find out that Bob Baffert's horse was positive. Where do you place his legacy at? Is he still good with 6? And you're like, okay, he's still a Hall of Fame guy?
Okay, so let's go relationships. This is relationships. You cheated once, right? What about all your other marriages? Oh, no, I was faithful then. Well, how do I know? This is you cannot.
I'm with you, man.
You can't give him the benefit of the doubt. Now, do you have to blame him and say you know for sure that he cheated? No, but you can't. He has just ruined, just like Joe Pa. He has ruined his legacy because there's nothing he can say that says I didn't cheat.
If you want to protect your legacy, screw up early in life.
Yes,
because if he had cheated on his first Derby and then won 6 more, we wouldn't be talking about it.
That's right.
If Joe Pa had Jerry Sandusky back in 1962 or whenever he got and they had some scandal and somehow he survived it and got through it and ended up he would have that statue and he'd have his bridge and everything else. But because it was the last thing he did, that's what we remember. And that's unfortunate because I try to look at the entire canvas of an individual. I try to look at somebody and go, wow, he really turned his life around, this, that, and the other. And I'm not saying people go sour in their 70s and all of a sudden they're doing something. But here's the deal. When you've lived a life and you've been in a profession and you're really good at it for a long period of time,
right?
And you're caught cheating or doing something horrible, yes. It could be infidel, it could be anything, later in life, the only thing I can think of is you must have been doing it the entire life. Because by the time you're 60s and 70s, you should be smart enough and mature enough to realize how things work and to know it could ruin your legacy. If you're such a dumbass like Bob Baffert to cheat on a horse, then why are you doing it at the end of your life and not doing it at the beginning?
So listen.
Because it also tells you that maybe my ass is too old to win the way I'm supposed to win.
Well, yes. If
Nick Saban starts paying his players when he's 70 years old, I'm going to think, okay, you obviously didn't think you could win the way you were doing it your entire life, and I'm going to think he's probably been doing his entire life.
So what's interesting about that is it because you become, because we see pro athletes do this, not so much the cheating. It is so much of your identity. It is so much of who you are that the thought of stepping away because I can't win or I can't. We see it with athletes, and then instead of stepping away, not even at the top, as they're starting to decline, they just keep going. I remember Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He was obviously the best of the best, but I remember watching as a kid him sitting on the bench. I remember him coming in for games, and he looked tired.
Mm-hmm.
Airplane.
Yeah.
My dad says you're lazy. But I remember feeling horrible for the guy because I remember thinking, don't go this way.
Yeah.
Like, don't go this way. And I don't know so much about going out of the top, but I think what happens is if you throw that much into what you do, it almost is impossible to just walk away because it's distorted. It's, I'll get back. I can do it. I know I can do it. And then particularly if there's an opportunity to push the envelope a little bit, it's not a huge cheat. It's just a little cheating. We're just a little bit. We're just going to use a little bit of supplement in some of your players. There is that, it's playing with fire, but people do it all the time. They do it in school. They do it in relationships. They do it on the job.
We think that Tom Brady's doing it right. That's the thing about the Barry Bonds thing is he was 37, 38 years old hitting 70 bombs. You're like, how is that even possible? Because we know the reaction time's not the same. We knew that he had power. All of a sudden these numbers are jumping. But I mean, again, if Tom Brady got caught cheating and you could throw the Deflategate in there, that was a different thing. But
Lance Armstrong.
He had to know. Well, and Lance Armstrong, I get Lance Armstrong. I mean, the guy had testicular cancer. He was winning over and over and over again. I mean, I understand as he was getting older because he was the oldest one that was winning. You had 21-year-olds who were getting blown by Lance Armstrong. How's that possible? I mean, you cannot have the same testosterone levels, the same strength as you. We just chalked it up to training. Well, he must be really smart, and he's just a great trainer. And that's what we do with Tom Brady. But if Tom Brady got caught cheating or failed a drug test at this point,
he's done.
The 7 Super Bowls don't mean anything to me.
That's right.
And I hate that because, I am a canvas guy. I try to look at the entire life, but I can't pick and choose which ones were done right, which ones weren't, because I'm thinking, just like you said with infidelity, oh, well, I cheated on this last wife, but I never cheated on my first 3. How am I supposed to know that?
What about things that happen off the field? Let's take Tiger Woods and his legacy.
Well, I was thinking Tiger and I was thinking Kobe.
His thing was off the course, right?
He didn't.
So I think his golf legacy is still intact. I think you have to separate the personal man from his talent, like Michael Jackson, right? Why hasn't Michael Jackson's music been canceled?
Yeah, no, that's a.
You know what I'm saying?
It is a great point.
Because you have to separate.
The problem is when like Joe Paterno.
It may have been if Mike was still alive.
I don't think
so. Well,
so.
first of all, we still want to hear it, so radio stations are going to continue to play because they know it's going to sell. Okay,
right.
So I mean, I get that. I get that aspect of it, but at the same time, when you're talking about,
I mean, Tiger still moves the needle, and he's cheated on his wife.
Right, but he's never cheated on the course.
He's never cheated on the course.
Cheat in golf?
It would be.
How do you cheat in golf?
See, that's
special
the thing.
ball?
I think
he may have taken a legal drop, but I mean, not.
Yeah.
When he had the red shirt on, a lot of people felt the same way.
Yeah. Do they do drug tests?
I mean, they were changing golf course lengths because of Tiger Woods,
yeah.
where no one else, and now, of course, they're tested.
They are tested now.
The thing is, and that Tiger Woods is a great example because he's had DUIs, he had the drug issue, he's got a sex addiction. Mm-hmm. It was very public. He's had back injury after injury, probably on pain medication. And
of
course, the car wreck, which by the way, the car wreck thing was really bizarre to me.
Yep.
Because they said that he never touched the brake pad. He was going 85 miles an hour, and we will never know what's going on because he won't release it. And he wasn't charged with it. And I'm going, that's kind of strange.
But but I think this is a good point. Does it take away? I mean, obviously, it takes a little bit away, but he's still the greatest golfer, or still because it's off. It's now. Here's where it gets real. Let's say he was abusive, child molester, abused his kids.
Michael Jackson.
Well, alleged.
Well,
alleged. No, I mean, I'm alleged. Well, Kobe Bryant, the whole Kobe Bryant legal, but that's the problem is alleged, right? So it never was proven in a court of law.
Caitlyn Jenner killed a guy.
Well,
Bruce Jenner killed a guy.
We're forgetting one thing.
Huh.
After you have your issue, whatever that issue is, what do you do afterwards?
Well, yeah.
Tiger Woods won another Masters.
Yes.
We love him.
Yes. Well, and he came out publicly and said stuff.
I mean, A-Rod, to an extent, is he's. I'm not saying he's beloved. He's not that likable guy, but he's back in. Even Mark McGwire, who juiced.
Yep.
He got a job with the St. Louis Cardinals. He got back in. He started building his brand back up again, and we tend to want to remember that because we're a redemptive society. We like to give people the benefit of the doubt. Okay, you screwed up, but obviously, and Pete Rose to that extent. If Pete Rose could ever get into Major League Baseball again, he's too old to do it now. But if he was in it for 10 or 15 years, we'd be willing to kind of forget those other things because you build it back up and you're back to where you thought you were.
Well, which is exactly what in relationships. You don't.
If Lance Armstrong came out and won a Tour de France,
we'd think he cheated.
No, but if he did it now and we knew he couldn't cheat,
yeah,
I think we'd forget a lot of things.
Yeah. That's exactly. Well, and I was just.
And that's what Bob Baffert's going to have to do for me.
What?
He's going to have to win another Kentucky Derby or else the other 6 don't count.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, they don't.
Does he have, sorry, I'm not up on this. Did the same horse run in this race, or was it a different horse?
No, same horse. He had another horse, but
the test was they were waiting for a B sample on the Derby, but he was clean. The horse was clean to run in this race, but Bob Baffert wasn't allowed to train.
No, he was allowed to be there, and he was allowed to train.
He was?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What about the whole backup trainer?
He just wasn't. Well, they had a backup trainer, but you know that Bob Baffert was training that horse.
Well, that's when Nick Saban was like with COVID.
Exactly. He's from his hospital bed.
Right.
Telling him what plays to run.
So
I don't know why he couldn't coach. I don't understand why he couldn't just coach from a remote location.
Because that's cheating.
How was that cheating?
Don't remember there was a whole thing because you have access. You potentially have access to things that are not controlled. In other words, when you're on the field, we can watch you, and if you're at home, you might have some like technical setup that allows you to cheat. That was a whole thing.
Yeah.
What's the whole deal with baseball and stealing signs? I mean, you know me, I hate baseball.
It's
like, why is that such a big? Who cares?
unwritten rule, man. I mean, change your signs. I mean, if a guy on second
change your
base is changing signs or guys looking down, seeing the tape on their fingers, I'm like, whatever.
Why is that bad? When the football, same thing.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, I saw a commercial last night for the Friends reunion. By the way, the official Friends trailer is stupid.
I saw that
It's
too.
the 6 of them walking down the street together. You could tell they're older. I'm like,
Yeah,
okay. And it's coming up on
And
the
it's not even going to be a show. It's going to be like a talking heads
panel. It's a panel
Yeah,
discussion.
Yeah.
I'm very disappointed.
They're getting hammered. They got hammered over the weekend because there's not going to be one black guest. First of all, there was no black people on the show.
Okay.
And we know that.
So
with the exception of Ross's girlfriend, which, by the way, he's come out and said, listen, I told the producers, I want a black girlfriend on the show. We need to represent black people on the show.
him.
There's no black people
By
on
the
the
way,
show.
the only Jew.
Now, when this show came out 17 years ago, it was nothing to have 6 white people hanging out in a New York apartment, despite the fact that 40% of New York is black.
Right.
It was a little strange, and I don't know how that would have played. Now, whenever you see a cast, you have a white guy, a black guy, an Asian guy, a Mexican guy, and you throw them together, and everyone's well presented, and they all are stereotypical the way they are. The Indian guy talks a little funny. The black guy's the black guy. The white guy's pasty white. There's a black girl and a white girl and an Asian girl who can't speak English. And you put them together and go, okay, super. This is our show because we want to represent everybody. Well, at least Friends did it right with 6 white people because it was 6 white friends, right? And I thought it was super cool. Now, did you notice the black girl in Friends?
No.
Smoking hot.
I don't even remember.
Yeah,
I mean, even Joey
the
was
host of Whose Line It Is Anyway for a while.
Smoking hot. Smoking hot.
Well,
smoking
but
hot.
everybody
She's really funny.
But everybody on Friends was hot.
She's not going to be part of this reunion show. They're
Why?
bringing back I don't know if it's because she doesn't want to be
Maybe
part of the
she doesn't
show.
want to.
I don't know if it's because she wasn't invited to be back.
She better have been invited.
But she would have been the only black person that they would have had on the show.
Why don't they have any black guests?
Well, and they're inviting guests that weren't even on the show.
Well, that's what Lady Gaga's there.
Yeah, Beckham's going to be on it.
This
Why is
whole thing is weird.
So you would think that
Brad Pitt going to be there because he was on the show for a couple episodes.
Yeah, well, he was invited. Yeah, he's going to be on part of it.
Is he really?
Yeah. So I mean, why wouldn't you? So they're wondering why the guest list for this reunion show there's not one black person on the entire thing.
Maybe there's
now Schwimmer's come out and said, listen, I think it'd be great to have a black friends like black Golden Girls, and he's like, I think it'd be great to have an Asian friends.
Black old girls.
Yeah, black Golden Girls.
Oh, Golden Girls.
The Golden Girls have a black
girls.
Black old girls. Like, what the hell's that?
It's about 4 women who never age. Because black people don't age.
Oh, black people are beautiful.
Yeah, there's 4
Remember,
girls
you and I
named
were
Lena
talking
Horne.
about that.
Yeah.
Their skin's just beautiful.
I know. 4 Aretha Franklins. No, I mean, I don't know. I'm surprised someone has not done that yet. If you did, well, maybe is that Blackish? No, what's a show that would be closest to 6 black people being
Cosby
friends?
show?
That's a family thing.
That's a family thing.
And Bill Cosby's, we can't do that. Is he still in jail?
And I don't know how
What's he
6
doing, Jay?
Asian people being friends.
Oh, there was a movie, what was that? My something wedding. Asian movie. My Rich Wedding.
My Asian wedding.
You talking about filthy rich Asians?
Yes, that's it.
My Asian.
By the way, I saw part of that a couple weeks
That's
ago.
a great movie.
It's a weird movie, man.
It's a
The whole
great.
scene of them in the car when he cheated was like,
Yeah.
was like,
I think it's more of a cultural thing. I just don't think that some other cultures
Do that.
do that like white people do. Like just a bunch of white people hanging out in the same
we
apartment.
call them Docker commercials.
Right. I just
6
don't
white
think
docs.
it's.
Hey, what's going on tonight?
I mean, do you know one black person that watches Friends?
Yeah.
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 It was.
Are you just
universal.
saying that, or do you actually know?
No.
Right.
I don't know, but I don't know that they don't.
It's okay though, but that's okay.
But I don't usually ask my black friends if they watch Friends.
Hey man, you watch Friends?
And they go, why are you asking that question? Because it's all white people. Just wondering if black people like white shows and white. See, that's
I want you to learn about my culture, man.
that was the cool thing about the Cosby shows because white people actually thought it was funny.
That's right.
Oh yeah, Cosby Show transcend cultures. Like it was.
And we didn't have to worry about the fact that there were successful black people on the show because it was TV.
That's right.
Now, if that family moved into our neighborhood,
See, now I'm thinking about some of the shows that I watched.
of course, look what happened to Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
We got the last laugh, white people. Oh, there you go.